Today we are going to start our new topic that is throughput accounting.
Okay.
Hmm? The topics we will discuss in this chapter is theory of constraint, that is TOC, what is throughput accounting, throughput and limiting factor, and limiting factor, throughput accounting ratio, and interpretation. Okay, all these topics we will discuss in this class. First of all, what is theory of constraint? Theory of constraint is idea behind utilization of resources, optimum utilization of resources. Theory of constraint presents idea optimum utilization of resources. What this theory say? Theory say an organization can increase their profitability by increasing or by utilizing their resources maximized. Okay, how we can improve our profit? We can improve our profit by increasing efficiency of our production process. This theory is based on approach of optimized production technology. Based on the TOC is based on optimized production technology, OPT. What is OPT? OPT said that maximum utilization of resources to generate the maximum profit. Maximum utilization of resources to generate maximum profit. For profit generation, for profit, we have to max utilize our resources at maximum levels. Then our profit is increases. This is the idea of theory of constraint. But when we see and put this theory, we see there is some restriction in obtaining our resources. Every organization has only one goal. Every profit-making organization has only one goal, that is maximization of profit or maximization of shareholders' wealth. So, how we will manage our resources? when we have facing some restriction. This theory tells us how we will manage our resources when we are facing some kind of restrictions. In reality, if we see, there is never and ever possibility a person is earning unlimited income. There is always a restriction imposed by nature. So it is never and ever possible a person always earned unlimited amount of profit. And maybe a restriction may be in the form of competitor. A competitor introduced in the market. If the competitor introduced in the market, he restricts your profit. So this theory classify the resources into two kinds, that is bottleneck resource and non-bottleneck resource. He said when organization is in production process, they has to have some resources which are bottleneck and some resources which are non-bottleneck resource. What are bottleneck resource and what are non-bottleneck resource? Bottleneck and non-bottleneck resource. Bottleneck means limiting resource. Just like if we are using a material in our production and there is a shortage of that material, then we cannot produce as much unit as we want because of the shortage of material. So this is your bottleneck because it restricts you up to a limit. It imposes you restriction on your production. The resource which put a restriction on your production or restricts your process is known as bottleneck resource. And what about non-bottleneck? It is reverse of bottleneck. It is available in excess. There is no restriction of use. We can use as much as we can need. So there is no restriction on the resource that are non-bottleneck resource. If the limitation is imposed, these are the bottleneck resource. We take a very simple example to understand the bottleneck resource, what is the bottleneck and what is non-bottleneck resource. Take a simple example. Suppose our product passed through the 3 processes and then complete. Machine A, machine B, and machine C. We can also say it's department 1, it's department 2, and it's your finishing department. Okay. Machine A can produce 200 units at one time. Machine B can produce 180 units at one time. Machine C can produce 210 units at one time. So, process start from the machine 1. If I give 200 units to machine B, how much unit machine B can process? Please tell me. Tell me, please, how much units machine B can process? I am asking from you. Are you there?
Machine, yes,
Yes, tell me.
machine B.
Machine B,
180, 180 units.
180 units. But how much units he received from the department 1 or machine A? How much unit he received from the, yes,
200.
200. But machine B or department 2 can only process 180 units. He cannot process 20 units. These 20 units are not processed because its producing capacity is only 180 units at one time.
Okay.
So, how much units are transferred to machine C? How much
180 units.
180 units. The units which we process, we will transfer. This machine can process 210 units, but he cannot utilize. Why we cannot utilize? Because machine B can only produce 180 units. So if it has excess capacity, it doesn't matter. We cannot take any benefit. So which process or which machine limits your production or put restriction on your production?
Oh, the restriction is on machine B.
Machine B puts the restriction on your production process. So this is what we called this department or this machine. Is it bottleneck or non-bottleneck?
Bottleneck.
It's your bottleneck resource. I can process 200 units maximum, but we cannot process 200 units. Why? Because of the machine B, it can only process 180 units. This is your bottleneck resource. Tell me, machine C is your bottleneck or non-bottleneck?
Non-bottleneck.
It's your non-bottleneck resource. Machine A is also non-bottleneck resource. Okay. So these 20 units remain in, if we process 200 units, then these 20 units are our inventory, remains in our inventory, which we cannot use anywhere. These are just kept in our work in progress inventory. When new processes start, then we will again process. And so what the theory of constraints said? Theory of constraints said we should bring the non-bottleneck at the level of bottleneck resource. We should bring non-bottleneck resource at the level of bottleneck resource. No, we should utilize non-bottleneck up to the level of bottleneck resource. So, according to the TOC, in machine A, how much unit I must process? 200 or 180?
200.
No. I told you, please listen my point. Theory of constraints said we should utilize our non-bottleneck resource according to the bottleneck resource. We do not create excess inventories. We do not create excess work in progress. We should bring the non-bottleneck to the level of bottleneck resource. So tell me how much unit now machine A should produce? 200 or 180?
180.
180. No, machine A should process 180 units. 180 to 180. So there is no inventory. No excessive inventory is created. It's the utilization of resources. It's a wastage of resources. So, theory of constraints said we can maximize our capacity, maximize our profit by maximum utilization of resource. So, tell me, machine C process 180 units, okay? Now machine C produces 180 units. Is it 100% units as per machine C? This 180 is 100% according to the machine C, or this 210 is 100% according to the machine C. Tell me which units are 100%?
210%.
210.
210.
210 is
Yes.
100% for the machine C. But
Yes.
area of constraint said we bring this 210 at 80, bring this 200 at 80, and it is not at 100% capacity. Suppose it is at 80% capacity. But this is for this 80% is 100% of non-bottleneck resource. Why this is 100% of non-bottleneck resource? Because we are consuming according to the bottleneck. We are not creating excess inventories. When we create excess inventory, what is the possibility? Theft possibility. There is a deterioration possibility. Okay. So there are risks involved if we are creating excess inventory. So that's why theory of constraints said we do not create excess inventory and we utilize the non-bottleneck according to the bottleneck resource. And this utilization of non-bottleneck is 100%. Why 100%? Because it is consuming bottleneck 100%. Okay. Clear about
Yeah.
the bottleneck and non-bottleneck? What is theory of constraint? Theory of constraint said we maximized our profit by efficient use of our resources. So what we do for the efficient use of resources, we identify our bottleneck resource or non-bottleneck resource and bring the non-bottleneck resource up to the level of bottleneck resource. Why? Because we do not want to create excess inventories, because these excess inventories create a burden or create losses for us. So that's why to increase our profit, we should not create excessive inventories. Clear concept of theory of constraint? All throughput accounting is based on concept of theory of constraint. Throughput accounting concept is based on TOC. So what is the difference between TOC and theory of constraint? Theory of constraint, as the name clarified, it is just a theory. It does not practically perform. It does not perform as an accounting. So it is just a theory presented now. Throughput accounting is the expanded version of theory of constraint, which explains how we do the calculation in case of bottleneck resources. So keep in mind, if there is, in reality, this is not possible that we will achieve 100% for means we have, I am the only person who earns the profit and no one in the world earns the profit. This is not the possibility. So there is always each and every organization face any bottleneck resource. Okay. Now we have clear the concept of bottleneck resource and non-bottleneck resource. Bottleneck resource is also known as constraint, limiting factor, any name we can use. Okay. Now we have to come our throughput accounting concept. I told you as earlier, this is the same as we discussed in TOC. Throughput accounting is based on the concept of TOC. Okay. There are some assumptions of the throughput accounting. There are two main assumptions of throughput accounting. What are these assumptions? First assumption is only direct material is variable cost. There is only one variable cost, and that is direct material. Only direct material is your variable cost. First assumption is there is only one variable cost, and that is direct material. Now, direct labor and overheads are fixed cost. Theory of throughput accounting is based on these two assumptions. You know, direct labor plus overheads is also known as conversion cost. So, in simple words, conversion cost is fixed cost, and only variable cost is direct material. So, this concept is also related with the marginal costing. In marginal costing, we calculate the marginal costing. In marginal costing, we calculate the contribution. So, tell me, contribution is equal to what? Cost. Contribution equals to sales minus variable cost. Sales minus variable cost. And this variable cost includes the variable production cost, variable production cost is sum of direct material, direct labor, direct expense, plus variable factory overheads, and variable non-production cost. Variable non-production cost includes selling and distribution and administration. So this is the formula to calculate the contribution in marginal costing. Now, tell me, in throughput accounting, which cost is only variable cost? Please tell me, which cost is only variable cost?
Direct material.
Direct material. So in throughput accounting, we calculate the throughput contribution.
Come again.
Okay. In throughput accounting, in marginal costing, we calculate the contribution, and I revised what is and how we calculate the contribution. Okay, but in throughput accounting, we calculate the throughput contribution. Throughput contribution is equal to sales minus direct material cost. Sales minus direct material cost. This is your throughput contribution. Because why? Because this is the assumption of this theory. There is only one variable cost, and that is direct material cost. Okay?
Okay.
Clear about the throughput contribution? Now, how we calculate the profit in throughput accounting? Profit is equal to throughput contribution minus all the cost. That is conversion cost. Okay, this is the conversion cost, labor plus factory overheads, plus conversion cost plus any non-manufacturing cost if given in question. Okay?
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
About the throughput accounting. So,
yes.
I am sharing with you a question for the profit statement, okay? Please check it. It's a short question.
Okay.
He said, see, a question is, a company makes 1,000 units of an item during the period and sells 800 units for 8,000. Cost in production were as follows. Material is 3,000, direct expense is 2,000. So, and direct fixed overhead is 1,000, and other overheads are 1,000. Actual production volume and the sales volume expenditures were both same as budgeted. Required calculate the profit for the period using absorption costing, marginal costing, and throughput accounting. I will discuss with you only throughput accounting, how we calculate the profit using throughput accounting. Okay? Because our main topic is throughput accounting. So profit, just to calculate how profit using throughput accounting. First of all, I put my sales. How many units I sell? I sales 800
800.
units for 8,000. Okay. For now, tell me for throughput contribution, which cost I have to less?
Direct material.
Direct material. How much is your direct material cost? Less direct
Mm,
material,
3,000.
3,000. So what is your throughput contribution?
5,000.
Throughput contribution is 5,000. Now less all the cost, whether it is production or not, that is direct expenses. Direct expenses is 1,000. I put
It's
in inner
2,000.
column. Okay, okay. Oh, sorry, 2,000. 2,000. Direct expenses 2,000. Fixed overheads is 1,000.
1,000.
And other overheads is again 1,000. It becomes total 4,000. So my profit is 1,000.
1,000.
Okay, clear? The profit statement using throughput accounting.
Yes.
Okay. Now the next step is how we plan our how we will maximize our throughput by using the bottleneck resource. So what is your throughput? Throughput is your benefit. Throughput is your benefit which you can get from the sale of your product. Okay. Throughput is your benefit. So throughput and limiting factor analysis. Throughput was
Okay.
limiting factor analysis. Throughput, and limiting factor analysis. Throughput and limiting factor analysis. So when we are going to discuss throughput and limiting factor analysis, we follow some steps. What is our first step? In first step, identify your limiting factor. Sometimes it is given in the question, sometimes we have to identify the limiting factor, the factor or the bottleneck. In other words, we can say bottleneck, constraint. These words are used for the limiting factor or the bottleneck or the constraint are simultaneously used. Okay. Step two.
All right.
In step two, we have to calculate the step two, calculate throughput contribution. This is a numerical question which we have to solve. And the steps, we should follow these steps to solve this question. Calculate the throughput contribution. Now you know very well what is the throughput contribution. Throughput contribution is sales minus material cost. Sales minus material cost.
Cost.
Okay. Now calculate the throughput contribution per bottleneck resource. Step 3 is calculate throughput contribution per bottleneck resource. Throughput contribution per bottleneck resource. How we calculate the throughput contribution per bottleneck resource? We calculate the throughput contribution, which we calculate in step 1. Throughput contribution divided by bottleneck resource. Divided by bottleneck resource. This is also known as return per factory hour. When we calculate the throughput accounting ratio, we will discuss return per factory hour. It is also known as return per factory hour. Then step 4 is rank. How we rank? Highest return per factory hour to lowest. Return per factory hour to lowest. Now, step 5, prepare your optimal production plan. Prepare your optimal production plan. Okay, this is the complete steps we follow if we have any bottleneck resource given in the question. Sometimes bottleneck resource is already identified, then our step 1 is skipped, and we start from the step 2. We calculate the throughput contribution, then contribution per bottleneck resource, and this is also return per factory hour, and then rank, and then we prepare the optimal production plan, the production plan which maximize our profit. The production plan which maximize our profit, we will calculate the production plan. Okay. Any question relating to
So far, so good.
Okay, good. Now we will do the practice on it on throughput and limiting factor in next class because the time is going up now. Let me check first of all which question I have. Okay, we will join the class after 8 minutes. Okay,
It's fine.
okay, done.
All
Uh,
right.
Okay, I am. Acha, now, okay, please wait.